Hello, my name is Rosa. Today I will be presenting my persuasive speech. And I have my audience members here. Alright, so today's topic will be, does Disney need to make live action adaptations of all their animated films? So we'll get into a few points. We'll talk about, is reality better than fantasy? Does Disney get to take beloved animated characters and make them real? We'll be looking at Rotten Tomatoes scores between the original movies that were made and the live action adaptations that were later created. And then we'll talk about originality in Hollywood and how there is no more originality in Hollywood, as people say. And Disney, being the giant film creator that it is, may be contributing to this. And do Disney movies lose their magic by trying to make them real life? Okay, so animation versus live action. So the criticism for live action movies has kind of been met with poor reviews compared to their animated counterparts. Movies like Beauty and the Beast, Snow White, and Aladdin have gathered a lot of attention, both for good reasons and bad reasons, for their production to their acting, their a little bit of everything. And Pinocchio, go into this next slide. We'll take these two movies. So Pinocchio, being the first animated film that ever received a 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes, came out in 1940, and the later counterpart in 2022 got a shocking 27%. So it didn't do so well relative to its animated counterpart. Snow White, the original release in 1937, received 97%. The 2025 adaptation of it only received 39%. So not very good. So with these scores and these comparisons, why does Disney keep making live action adaptations? Well, they have a handful of live action adaptations that do well. Like Cinderella, the live action adaptation did very well compared to the original that came out. And The Jungle Book, which actually surpassed its animated counterpart when the live action came out. So they do have a few good versions, but do the good outweigh the bad? So our next point here is that not all stories need to be retold. So it seems that the last couple of years, Disney has made adaptations of live action movies that have been beloved by past generations, many of which have suffered from poor special effects or lack of a good or sticking to an original storyline. So Moana is a good example of one. We have the 2016 version and the 2026 version that's yet to come out. So the original Moana came out 10 years ago, and they made a second Moana movie that also didn't do very well. So people are wondering, why are they making a live action adaptation if nobody asked for it? The 2016 version did so well, the next version that came out didn't do so well. Now they've got a live action coming out just 10 years after the original. So it's just a lot of criticism is being met just because the animation is a little bit harder to emulate into the live action. And with that, a lot of live action movie adaptations lose a lot of vital components from the original. So, for example, the 2020 version of Mulan, the live action, got rid of Mushu, which was a beloved character in the animated version. And he was kind of the comedic relief that helped make the story not feel as heavy. So with the new version of Mulan, getting rid of Mushu, the story felt a lot heavier and touched on a lot of political topics that many people weren't used to in the animated version. And with that as well, we look at The Lion King. So this is the part here where Simba had all the wildebeest coming at him, and it's a very dramatic moment. So in the animated version, you see his expression, you see that he's scared that he has something coming at him. This is the exact same scene in the live action version of the Lion King movie. There's no emotion. So a lot of people are criticizing these live action movies because it's harder to show emotion in real life than it is in an animated version. So another example kind of on the other side of the spectrum is The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book did very well compared to its animated version, and it was because it was able to take a lot from the original animated version and stick with the story and kind of the animation, the live action. So they kept a lot of the same scenes, a lot of the same kind of characters, and were able to give them character. So a lot of people obviously praise The Jungle Book for doing such a good job at that, and these other movies are criticized because they haven't been able to do the exact same thing. All right, so in conclusion, as we've seen with The Jungle Book, not all adaptations are bad when done correctly, when staying true to the story. And it's also important to, if you're wanting to create an animated version, if you want an animated version to be created into a live action version, to keep the original story or try to expand on it and the characters, just like The Jungle Book did. So I think Disney should focus on creating new original ideas than constantly creating live action adaptations of movies they already have. Thank you. And my audience members once more.